What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Colin Beasley and Noah Hiles here. Pirates lose again, get swept again, I should say, by the Cardinals, dropping all three at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. I was there to cover it. They are shut out for the seventh time this season. That leads Major League Baseball. They're swept for a fourth time this season, and two of those four sweeps coming in consecutive series. There's no way to sugarcoat this, Colin. I mean, this is lower than I think they've been in. This is the lowest Pirates baseball has been, I think, during this entire regime. Obviously, neither one of us has covered it throughout the entirety of Shelton and Charrington. But when you look, I mean, they take over a team during a pandemic season. They only win 19 games. The next 2 years, there are 100 lost teams. But there were no expectations for that group. 2023 is when the expectations started to rise, and they got better. They went from a 100-loss team to a 76-win team, and they did that without their best player, O'Neal Cruz. There was reason to feel optimism. They had drafted Paul Skeens first overall that season as well. You go into 2024, at the All-Star break, they're 500, and they have the most electrifying player in the sport, possibly, or if not number one, top three, right? And then they exit the All-Star break, playing their best baseball. They buy at the trade deadline. And really, since that moment, it has continued to plummet downhill. The offseason was bad. The preseason wasn't much better with injuries. And this season has been terrible. They're 14 games under 500 now. That is the lowest mark we've seen this team reach in at least 2 seasons, to my understanding. Yeah, so I believe at least 2022 was the last time we saw them get this low. They're not scoring runs. It's the same thing over and over again. Frankly, it's been tough to write about because you try to find creative things to say. Colin, what's it been like for you watching from home?
Yeah, I feel like you nailed it in those first 2 minutes. It seems like we've watched the same game a number of times this season. And even today, reading your instant analysis, we do the when it was over tab, and you said when they scored the second run, it just felt that way. Watching from home, I kind of felt the same way. It feels really, really, really harsh to say that about a baseball team, but that's what it's looked like a little bit. The offensive numbers, especially lately, have really, really been bad. I was looking at the last couple of games, and I've realized in the last 5 games, the Pirates have scored 5 runs, which is something that seems like a stat that's almost hard to believe. And I'm really curious what you were seeing in St. Louis and what the clubhouse looked like.
Yeah, the clubhouse Wednesday, to peel back the curtain, before we recorded, I kind of talked to Colin for like 15, 20 minutes about how grim things seem right now. I don't know if I've been around a team at any level that has been this kind of dejected by strictly performance. Now, if there were like other things going on, if there were tragedies within the locker room or something along those lines, that's a different circumstance. But going just off of quality of play, I've never seen a team more down on itself than what I'm seeing right now. A lot of heads hanging low, heads in hands. People are frustrated. People are kind of also shocked. I really do believe that a lot of players here thought that this season was going to go completely different. Like I think that the players that came in here and some of the guys who have been a big part of this core truly believed that they could at the very least replicate what they did last year at this time and stay close to 500, which is all you really need to do in this division. If you could stay close to 500, you'll have a chance to win it. But they're so far behind now, I don't know how they recover from this. And I think that they realize that. They realize that they're not just a Nick Gonzalez and a Spencer Horowitz away. They're not just a Bubba Chandler and a Jared Jones away. They're even adding those 4 into the mix. That group probably gets them to where they were last year, which was a team that for a couple of months played slightly above average baseball, and for a couple of other months played below average baseball. You hear the managers say words like consistency, we got to get going, I think they have been consistent in the sense that they're just not productive at the plate. And when your entire lineup can be derailed by one or two players being absent, then you really don't have that much of a sustainable lineup to begin with.
Yeah, it's amazing how this season it obviously there is a lot of baseball left, and that's something that can be pointed at. It's concerning that it feels like it's slipped away as quickly as it has, because look up, just like even like 2 weeks ago, that didn't feel like they were that far below 500. Obviously, the season wasn't going the way you wanted it to then, but only a couple games before 500, you can be like, okay, so-and-so goes right. You have a good series. You play a team like the Cardinals, which aren't that great of a baseball team. You could even see, hey, this looks like a path back to 500 or back to positivity. Now, all of a sudden, 7-game losing streak and you're 14 games below 500. It just happened that quickly.
Yeah. So, I mean, moving forward, they have the Atlanta Braves coming into town. And you want to talk about parallels. I mean, the Atlanta Braves started worse than any other team in Major League Baseball this season. And now I haven't checked the standings in a few days, but I know they were pretty close to 500 entering this week. Let me pull up the standings here real quick.
I believe they're 1 game below.
Yes. Yeah, they are 17 and 18 as of the time of this recording. So, like there are teams who have what it takes to recover and get going. But just looking at how this team's made up, what it's comprised of, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I guess, Colin, I'll ask you as we kind of wrap this up. What constitutes a good weekend against the Braves? Is it the offense? I mean, obviously winning is the only correct answer here, but aside from that, is it just simply seeing signs of life from the offense? Are you looking for individual performances from maybe Brian Reynolds showing up at the plate or Joey Bart hitting the ball with some power? What is something that you can see from this team that maybe displays signs of life?
You mentioned the first thing, which was that winning is the only real answer, and that's one thing. I think that the losing streak has to end quickly in order for it to be a positive thing. I don't know whether it has to be Friday or whether it has to be Saturday or exactly when it has to be, but that's the easiest spot to start. I think that the pitching needs to continue at least how it's been of late. The starting pitching hasn't been particularly bad. Like against the Cardinals, 2 quality starts, and Carmen Mlodzinski pitched pretty well. I think if you can continue that, that's a positive. But frankly, it just begins and ends with the offense. You need some signs of life. You need them to be in the ball game late, to have to have chances at the end of the game. Can't be there can't be a point where it seems like a 2-0 lead is insurmountable. I think that It's possible to get that if you get a couple hits, if you get some early offense. I've kind of seen over this series, it feels like it snowballs, where once the starting pitcher gets 1 or 2 zeros, it feels like they're on track for 4, 5, 6, or even 7, the way I believe Sonny Gray had today. I think if you get some offensive life at the beginning and you get some good pitching, and I think there are some positives there, but you're right. It does begin and end with winning. You've got to find a way to get at least one from this upcoming Braves series, and even then, 1 win in 10 would be tough.
Yeah. Well, we're still going to cover them regardless, aren't we, Colin?
We'll be there.
He's Colin Beasley. I'm Noah Hiles. Check out our work at post-gazette.com. Get yourself a digital subscription if you haven't already, and subscribe to this YouTube channel at PG Pirates. We'll have you covered moving forward.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.